At that table, nothing looked unusual at first. From the outside, it was just a family dinner, plates moving, chairs scraping softly, conversations overlapping in that familiar, slightly chaotic rhythm. My parents at the center, as always, everyone else orbiting without thinking about it. My son sat between me and my brother, quiet. Watching the shift didn't happen all at once. It rarely does. A comment about how he doesn't join in enough. A joke about how serious he looks. Someone mimicking the way he speaks. Subtle exaggeration. Just enough to get a laugh. Individually, none of it would have stood out. Together, it formed something else. I noticed it late, not because it was hidden, but because I was used to it. That tone, that kind of humor. It had always existed in this family, softened by the idea that it meant nothing. Across the table, my mother smiled in that familiar way, half amusement, half dismissal. "He's just a kid," she said lightly. "He'll get over it." A few people nodded. Someone laughed again, quieter this time. My son didn't. He wasn't angry. That's what struck me. He wasn't even looking at them anymore. He was sitting still, as if he had already stepped outside of the moment. Then he stood, not abruptly. Just enough movement to be noticed. I'll never forget this. No emphasis, no raised voice, the kind of sentence that doesn't ask for a response. The silence that followed wasn't dramatic. No one reacted immediately. It was more like something had been misplaced in the room, and no one wanted to acknowledge it. Then, almost predictably, the moment passed. Someone reached for a dish. A different conversation started. The structure reassembled itself. But not completely. On the drive home, my son didn't bring it up. Neither did I. That absence stayed with me longer than anything said at the table. Later that night, I replayed it. Not emotionally, but almost clinically. The sequence, the reactions, the way no one interrupted it, the way I didn't either. There was a pattern there. Not new. Just clearer now. By morning, the question wasn't what they had done. It was what I would continue to participate in. My parents had been relying on me for something practical. Not emotional. Structural. A role I filled quietly, without much discussion, because it made things easier for them. It had always been understood, never explicitly acknowledged. I contacted the institution handling it. The conversation was direct, procedural. "I'd like to remove myself from this agreement." There were pauses for verification, a few clarifications. No resistance. Just process. By the end of the call, the change was in motion. It didn't feel like an action taken against them. It felt like something I was no longer willing to carry. The next day they found out. Not from me, from the institution itself. Formal communication, neutral language, a clear outcome. Their plans, suddenly uncertain. Dependent on something that was no longer there. My father called. He didn't mention dinner. He asked what happened. I listened. Let him finish. Then I said, "I'm stepping back." A pause, not confusion exactly. More like an expectation that I would elaborate, explain it in a way that could be adjusted or negotiated. I didn't. There wasn't anything to negotiate. After that, the conversation ended quickly. Not resolved. Just ended. Days passed. Then a week. No apology came, no acknowledgement of that night, only a shift in tone when they did reach out, more careful, less certain. My son seemed different too. Not outwardly, but there was less tension in how he moved around them, even in absence, as if something had been recognized, even without being discussed. The family still exists, technically unchanged. Gatherings still happen, conversations still overlap, but there's a gap now. Not loud, not openly addressed, just present. And for the first time, it isn't being filled automatically. I don't know if that gap will close. I only know why it's there.